from that call.
John in California. John, what's going on?
Hi, Jimmy. So I had like a shower thought the other day, and I figured it was perfect for you.
Yeah.
But you know, in the like normal, I don't want to say normal, but like in the sort of stereotype, mainstream American understanding of how heaven and hell are that you would see in like pop culture, right?
Yeah.
Is that heaven is up high, hell is down below.
Right.
And it's often simplified to just being that heaven's in the sky and hell's underground.
Right. Heaven is a top and hell is a bottom.
Yeah, I was thinking that there's like probably some inherent symbolism, especially at least in the English translations of the Bible there. Because in English culture, things being up high are associated with being better, and things being down low are associated with being worse.
Yeah.
Like the king sits in the highest chair. You know, people living in the penthouse on the top floor have it the best. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all too surprising that that's the method that's what they came up with as far as these physical locations. And you have even like with old empires, the concept of those in charge looking down on those they are in charge of and such.
Also, another interesting tidbit, usually
Exactly, yeah.
jails and torture chambers were underground from a facility. Holding cells were underground, and this is where the interrogation used to take place and where the torture used to take place. So it was really easy to align this with jail and torture, and you did something wrong, to put hell below the house, below the jail kind of
Yeah.
deal.
But I think there's a lot of symbolism in
Yeah,
the Bible that's extremely interesting. For example, people think that Jesus hated gay people, and yet he hung out with a prostitute that was his best friend that he never touched, and told 12 dudes to leave
Supposedly.
their families to hang out with him. I'm just saying, you do with that what you want.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think of it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is some Tiger King cult shit right
It's
there.
actually
Like,
funny
what?
that Christianity is so shitty to ace people because their version of Jesus is ace. My version of Jesus is quite queer, and I cosplay him every day. Anyway,
But
John,
like your
continue.
priest or ace, your nuns, everything.
Because I just thought it was interesting because, like, in older translations, especially from, like, the Middle Ages, you find all kinds of other weird ideas that are foreign to our modern understanding of the Bible. Like that hell could be just an island out in the middle of the ocean somewhere, or that it's a completely different plane of existence, or stuff like that. And I thought it was kind of interesting that Earth is set right in the middle between the two, as it sort of intersects in between both of them in the way most people would understand it. And I don't know if this has any, like, relation to the Bible. It's, like, in reality, or is it all just, like, stolen straight from the Divine Comedy, or... I don't know.
It's pretty
What
obscure
are your
for that
guys'
reason.
opinion?
They figured out that the more obscure that they left it, the more they can kind of cater it to their social norm when needed. So that's why it was left like super duper obscure. But yeah, there's a reason. You know, the high king sits at the high table, everyone else in the middle is just normal, and then under the jail means you're a piece of shit. Like, you know, you deserve to go to hell and be tortured. But the Bible's kept
Yeah.
pretty obscure so that it can be molded to whenever they kind of need to call on it. Type
And
of
then
deal.
even when it's not obscure, they just lie and pretend it
They
is.
just lie and be like, you know, well,
That
no,
part
what
was a poem.
that
It was a poem
interpretation
about
meant,
murdering children.
when you looked back at that time, that interpretation, man.
Yeah. You're taking it out of context. Here's why the slavery
shit.
back then was kind of cool. No, yeah,
I swear
those
they
fucking
gaslight more than my
arguments.
father did. Fuck.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to share before we hit the last caller here, John?
No, I think that's it. I just kind of wanted your guys' opinions on it, especially Jimmy, being that, you know, you grew up as a Mormon and your understanding of heaven and hell was sort of inherently different.
Oh yeah, it's
I
different
just, you know.
and weird. It's so it's more a different plane of existence, but also not, because God lives on a planet called Kolob, or on a planet that surrounds the star called Kolob, and heaven Like the spirit world is kind of a different plane, but it's physically where we are. Hell isn't below, because the concept of hell is more just eternal separation. Once the apocalypse happens, the earth will become the celestial kingdom, which will basically be like the best of the heavens. Or is it the sun? The sun becomes the celestial kingdom and the earth becomes the telestial. And I think the moon might be the terrestrial kingdom. Anyway, so these are going to be the three places that the heavens are existing. It sounds like something out of a fucking weird novel. But anyway.
It sounds like Scientology.
The earth gets turned into a giant diamond. That's going to be very exciting. God must have found someone he really likes because he's going to put a ring on it. I'm just kidding. God's a polygamist in Mormonism and is popping out spirit babies with his multiple wives. And it's a very like subjugation type of polygamy. Before anybody thinks I'm just against polygamy, the way Mormons do it, I am against, or did it in the past. Anyway,
we're for polyamory, not polygamy in the religious sense.
The whole thing's ridiculous, and there are Quakers that dress like the oatmeal man on the moon. So just, if anybody wanted to know some of the beliefs of Mormonism, those are all things taught by the prophets in Mormonism.
Why am I thinking of Wilfred Brimley on the moon now?
And if you're a man and you get to the celestial kingdom, you get to become a god. Like the Mormons believe God had a God, and that God had a God, and that God had a God. What we're doing now, God had to go through. If you get to that top level of heaven, you'll get to go create your own universes. You'll also get to have a son, which you're going to require a human sacrifice of, so that you can forgive the people, because that's the rules, even though you set the rules. So you're some kind of sadist fuckface. Anyway, Mormonism. But look at all the good they do. John, I'll give you the last word before we go.
Well, that's really all I wanted to talk about. I thought of it the other day, and cool. I thought it'd be wonderful discussion for the show. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
Read the Book of Mormon. I think you'll find it.
Other than that,
read the Book of Mormon. I think you'd find it hilarious.
Okay, I think I might.
It's bananas.
I do have other holy books around as reference material, so I think I might add that one.
Good deal. All right, thanks for calling, John.
All right.
Mormonism.
Yeah, you guys have a good one.
See ya.
You too. Mormonism sounds fucking exhausting. This is a lot of work for just a penis party.
You have no idea, because you are a woman. You get to just basically eternally pop out babies.
Well, I mean, that's Catholicism too, but I mean, all this work for penis,
after
and then
death,
you have to wear that. I'm talking. Oh, this is after death.
After you die forever.
Oh my God! I had a hysterectomy after one for a fucking reason. Like, this is my hell.
According to original Mormon doctrine, they change this shit all the time, and though this is actually more of the like deep doctrine, they just don't talk about much. But I don't think it's changed. Every person who's ever lived came out of one of our God's wives through a spiritual birthing.
So
yes,
siblings.
Everybody is a spiritual sibling.
And we all have to do this in super baggy, super covering, sweaty underwear.
Why? My underwear is not sweaty. What is?
No, I meant the Mormon ones.
Turn on AC. Oh, got it.
No,
okay.
the Mormon thingies. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all have to do this in super baggy, super sweaty underwear.
Hey, thanks for checking out this clip for The Line. While you're here, hit that like button, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and then share this with that bitter uncle of yours who loves talking about the good old days.